Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be talking about the Upper Silesian case study and how the League of Nations reacted to this crisis in 1921. This is useful for the IGCSE and for the A-level syllabus for history. So, first with some context. Upper Silesia is a heavily industrialized mining area between Germany and Poland. We can see it on the map right here. It's this area it was actually between many states. It was between Germany, Poland, and Czechoslovakia, but most of the population was Polish, but with a very large German minority. It was 2/3 Polish, 1/3 German. By the Treaty of Versailles, this territory was very disputed. So at the Treaty of Versailles, they agreed with the self-determination principle to allow for a plebiscite to be held there in 1921. It was a very, very important German industrial area, so obviously both the Polish wanted it because it had most of their population and it was a large industrial area, and the Germans wanted it because apart from the Rhineland, it was the second most important. So it had a complex population makeup of about 2 million people, roughly 2/3 Polish and 1/3 German. Both wanted the territory for its economic riches, and between 1919, so when after the Treaty of Versailles was signed, and 1921, localized riots took place there from both the Germans and the Polish, both claiming that Upper Silesian was rightfully theirs and that they wanted it. If you look at the date, that is 1 year after the insurgency took place. So the complicated report had 606 articles. The report gave Germany essentially 2/3 of the territory, but Poland had most of the economic resources. And Polish Upper Silesia had almost as many Germans as Poles. So, the territorial split didn't split very well the population. So in Polish Upper Silesia, after the League's resolution, there were still many Germans. And in, obviously, German Upper Silesia, there were still many Poles. So what happened? The League Commission also made other recommendations. They guaranteed the rights of national minorities because obviously there were so many Germans in the Polish and so many Polish in the German section. And they established a German-Polish Commission for Cross-Border Cooperation for 15 years. So in Upper Silesia, after the Treaty of Versailles and everything, tensions between the German and the Polish were extremely high, the localized riots, the dispute over Upper Silesia. And so the League of Nations wanted to reduce the tensions and ensure that they weren't going to arise anytime soon. So that's why they protected the national minorities, and that's why they established the Commission for Cross-Border Cooperation. So how can we judge the League? How successful was the League? The League's resolution was accepted by the Germans and, very importantly, by the Poles and the majority of Upper Silesians. So the Upper Silesian crisis is a very important success for the League of Nations. It's one of the biggest ones of the 1920s. And this is because it was accepted it worked really well to reduce the tensions, which were really, really high between the Germans and the Polish, and it was pretty much accepted by everyone. A lot of historians that actually criticized the League said that Upper Silesia was pretty much a success. And while tensions between the Germans and the Poles remained, they were greatly alleviated by the League, and the region prospered, which is important. It's a very important industrial region, so it still did very well thanks to the resolution. So how was the League not successful? Upper Silesia is mainly a success. However, it can be said to not have been successful because, first of all, we can see one flaw of the League of Nations from it. One, that the League's work was slow. It took one year to issue a report on the crisis, and in the meantime, localized riots were still taking place. And that's a pretty minor flaw, but still a flaw. And it also showed how the League was dominated by the British and French, because the British and the French had an important dispute over Upper Silesia. The British wanted to honor the results of the plebiscite, which said that Upper Silesia should have gone to Germany, which won 60% of the votes. However, France didn't want to allow Germany to have this because this would have weakened Poland. And of course, if we look at French foreign policy, the French wanted a strong Poland that would be able to sooner or later be strong against a confrontation from Germany. So France is here, Germany's in the middle, and then Poland's here, and they want a strong border of countries a strong border of strong nations that are able to control Germany in case they decide to do anything expansionistic again. So it also showed how the League of Nations was secondary to the Supreme Council and the Conference of Ambassadors, because the Upper Silesian dispute was first passed on to the Supreme Council and then passed on to and then later, when the Supreme Council didn't want to solve it, it was passed on to the Conference of Ambassadors. But overall, Upper Silesia is definitely considered a success for the League of Nations.